forgot to record. So again, we're doing 15.7 and 15.8 on page 596. Okay, so we're going to calculate the ending inventory at cost using the retail inventory method. So again, if you are stuck on which one that is, you can always flip back to 586. Okay, so 586 will show you the steps that you need. You might want to just mark that page maybe in your book as you go through the next problems on your own then. 586. So for the retail method, we're going to need beginning inventory at cost and our retail. Remember, this is the one we have different, our cost and our retail amounts. Then we need the net purchases at cost and retail and the net sales. So let's calculate the cost of our beginning merchandise, or the merchandise that we have available for sale here. Alright, we're going to have our first line is going to be our goods available for sale. And we're going to need a cost column and a retail column. You can write it above too. I'm not sure why I wrote it in there. So, the textbook tells you the beginning of the month, retail inventory, or inventory at cost was at 58,000, and at retail it was 72,000. So let's start there with our beginning inventory. We'll add those purchases in then later. Again, we're trying to find the total inventory that we have available. So we're going to have to add in any purchases that we have. And it does say that during this month, our net purchases cost us $255,000 and retailed at $405,000. So we're going to add those in. Just write your net purchases next. We will write those amounts before we add and total them up. 255. I forgot, if you need to grab your phone for a calculator, you can. You can always log into the computer as well. And so then we have those two. We're going to add those up, and the next label will be the cost of goods available for sale. We do need to differentiate available goods for sale at cost and then at retail. Okay, looking back at the retail method, we then need to calculate the cost ratio. So that's our available goods for sale at cost divided by our available goods for sale at retail. You can skip a line. We have a lot of space here, so you can skip a line and just write your cost ratio And you don't need to write those labels. You can just write 313,000 divided by 477,000. Does it tell us what to round to? Yes. Round the cost ratio to the nearest 100th percent. So just real quick reminder, 100th percent, right, is going to be, if you take your decimal over, so you have 65, and then the 6 is the tenths, and the 1 is the hundredth. So we're going to round that up to 2. Should be 65.62%. Cost ration is what I wrote. No one noticed that? Okay. So next step, deduct net sales from retail value of merchandise available for sale to arrive at estimated inventory at retail. So what are our net sales? We have to look in here. Net sales at retail for Miles Company during May were $225,000. So let's write that. Right, so to find our ending inventory for this month at retail, we're going to take the retail value of everything we have to sell minus what we actually sold at retail value. So it would be the $477 minus what we actually sold, $225,000. So this is showing that at retail value, at the end of this month, we have $252,000 worth of inventory on hand. But we want to estimate that cost amount. So we need to multiply our retail value of ending inventory by our cost ratio. So your bottom label here will be ending inventory at cost. And then just right down here, I'm going to write my 252 times 65.62%. Reminder, this isn't any sort of official financial document, right? Doing this retail method. This is just a method. This is just our worksheet of our work of how we're calculating it, okay? And we'll talk about probably tomorrow or Thursday about how this will affect your actual financial statements. But this is just the worksheet. So I do want it to be as organized as possible. So this is a good format to follow. But if yours looks just a little bit different, that's fine. Just make sure it's easy for me to find this. And like I said before, if you skip on certain labels or you skip showing certain math like this and you get the right answer, okay, that's fine. But if you start getting the wrong answer, then I'm going to make you show your work so you get the process down. All right, let's go ahead to 15.8, so the gross profit method. Same page, and just take a moment to read through that problem. 15.8. Okay, so for both of these methods, we want to start the same way. We need to find that total cost of goods available. So you can start by rewriting these same 4 headlines. Okay, so your 4 labels, oh sorry, I was off the page, off the screen. And we can fill in the information we have. So the difference here is that we aren't going to have it at cost and at retail. At this point, we only have it at cost, I believe. Yeah. Okay, started with 30,000. Purchased 67,000. And a little math will bring you to 97,000 for your cost of goods available for sale. So we have our actual goods available for sale. The next step is to estimate your cost of goods sold. What we're going to do is multiply our net sales by our cost percentage. So we're going to have to write a couple of these things. Let's start by doing our net sales. I'm just going to drop an extra line down. Net sales should be given to us. Yes, given that the company had net sales of $106,000. Right, and we're assuming that's retail value. 106. And the cost percentage is something that we do need to calculate, kind of. So the cost percentage, over recent years, Amy Company's gross profit had averaged 40% on sales. So if she profits 40% of every sale, that means it costs her 60% for every sale. So her cost percentage is 60%. So, for the gross profit method, we're taking our total net sales, multiplying by the cost percentage to estimate how much it costs us to sell all those pieces this year, or month, I guess. So your 106 times 60%. cost of goods sold. 63,000 is $600. We're not done yet, right? Because we need to find our estimated inventory cost. So, if we started with $97,000 worth of inventory available for sale, and we sold at cost to the company $63,600 worth, we would subtract these two to find our ending inventory at cost. And again, this is always an estimate, so estimated ending inventory. Cost 97. So this is done, these two examples. Any questions on these two processes? Alright, I'd like you to try a few on your own. So use your previous worksheets. Use this page 586 and 587 to help you, right? It has all the steps listed out for you. So I want you to do it on your own, but you don't have to avoid your text, okay? Use your text and use your notes. Page 600, 15B5 and 15B6. Everything's listed out really nicely for you, but you should still rewrite these things. So 15B5 is to use the retail method. 15B6 is to use the gross profit method.